So now it appears that the more we lament, the more we get about insecurity ravaging Nigeria. Now, Boko Haram fighters attacked an election collation center at Kureta along Damaturu Maiduguri Road and killed 2 people. And according to the State Security Advisor, retired General Dahiru Abdulsalam, the attack occurred in the early hours of Sunday, 4th of February, during collation of results for the Yobe East senatorial by-election in the state. Let's hear from him.
In the early hours of today, between 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning, we were at the INEC Collation Center, where the result of the Yobe East Central District was being compiled. We received report of infiltration by elements suspected to be Boko Haram elements into a village in the outskirts of the town, precisely Kukareta. And when they got there, they attacked soft targets and were able to inflict injury and casualty on some people, details of which were still compiling. However, what happened is a sign of a dying insurgency. When insurgency is dying, when it's coming to an end, you start experiencing this type of attacks: assassination, murder, and the rest. Attack of self-target, because the insurgents want to still show that they are very relevant and they are still up and doing. It's unfortunate what has happened, but we want to assure the citizenry that security agencies are up and doing. They're up to the task, and everybody should remain calm. There's no cause for alarm at all.
Well, that's the State Security Advisor, General Dahiru Abdulsalam, speaking there. Now, Abaji, let's quickly come to you on this matter. How does this recent Boko Haram attack on collation centers now impact all the security dynamics, if you like, in Yobe State? And how do you think this issue can be addressed, this recurring incident can be solved?
Yeah, from the reports, we heard that, 2 people were killed, and that security agencies repelled them. But I disagree with the security advisor that it is when Boko Haram is dying that they want to leave a mark. I mean, we have been hearing that for quite some time. And I expect that, for an off-cycle election, like the rerun election we had on Saturday, especially in those in the states in the Northeast, we ought to have made sure that, especially in Borno, Yobe, we ought to have ensured that there was adequate security at the collation centers. This is the senatorial district of the Gaidam, who is now a minister. Is the by-election that they were holding. And we knew that this election would hold and there will be collation. And the collation is about 20 kilometers away from the state capital, Damaturu. So security reports should tell us that something might happen there. So we ought to have been fully prepared.
Right.
And I expected that the place, unlike all other collation centers, would have been beefed up. But unfortunately, the SSA is assuring us that people should remain calm. Of course, how can people remain calm? It's becoming a recurring decima. Boko Haram insurgents, of course, they are still there, although decimated, but then the kind of thing I would have loved to hear is that, yes, during the insurgents attack, about 20 or 30 of them were killed, and that nothing happened to the collation center. But then they succeeded in burning houses, including the house of the district head of that area. So it means they had ample time, and it was an attack that they planned. From his reports, between, I think, 2 and 4 a.m., that was when they came. They want to show that, yes, you guys can't hold elections successfully while we are still in charge. They want to show the Nigerian government, yes, that we are still here. So I expect that more strategies should be deployed to prevent such occurrence in the future.
Yeah, in terms of strategies, Babajide, and let me come to you on this now. What would you propose that needs to be adopted here? Because, you know, elections are holding, security are not, people are not well secured. Boko Haram keeps rearing its ugly head despite assurances from government that they have, you know, dealt with this. But we keep hearing reports of Boko Haram attacks in vulnerable regions, particularly in the northeast. So what strategies do you think they need to adopt in terms of quelling or, you know, decimating this group for good?
I think they've done well so far, but those guys have not been defeated. We can only talk about them being defeated when they have lost the capacity to carry out any kind of attack. When the Tamil Tigers were defeated in Sri Lanka, not one attack, not one. It took 25 years to defeat them, but they didn't carry out a single attack once they were defeated. But when you defeat them to the last man, you've taken away their capacity, their capabilities. So that's what we want to see. This same weekend, this last weekend, even in Borno State, Boko Haram attacked the police station, killed about four police officers. Attacked the police station there. And there are still places where they still pose some threats. This particular place, this is not the first time they're attacking Kukareta, you know. Then that senatorial zone is when you are talking about Boko Haram presence in the whole of Yobe State, it's that senatorial zone that you have Boko Haram still able to carry out attacks. Because I remember the Gaydam is the hometown of the immediate past IG. They attacked this town, and the people fled into neighboring Niger Republic. And recently, too, they carried out an attack in that same Gaydam local government. They killed more than 40 residents. What led to that was the fact that the people provided information to the armed forces. The armed forces now went after them. So they came back to avenge the decision of the residents of the area to inform the armed forces about their movements. So they still retain the capacity to cause trouble in some of those communities, especially the Gaydam area.
So is it that they are so difficult to identify, or they are so difficult to reach, or what exactly?
In this area, for example, because Niger Republic, as I always say, is a failed state. In a failed state, you see huge expanse of land, huge area, not under any form of control of government. So what they do is, once they carry out attack in Nigeria, they move into Niger. And that part of Niger that they move into, there is no semblance of government authority or anything. So they are simply hibernating in those places. And you will not want to go and bomb another country. That will bring problems, especially now that we are not on good terms with those countries. So there are some parts of Niger Republic where nobody is in control. So they move, because we share boundary with them, they move from those places, from Nigeria into those places. And sometimes too, from there they come into Nigeria. So it's been a tough job to keep them under control. They are very mobile. They don't stay in one place. That's why the nature of the war that they are fighting us, they don't stay in one place. And most of the time they use motorcycles. Once they carry out this attack, they leave the area. It's not pitched battle. Our army is a conventional army that thrives on pitched battles and all that. But with this kind of enemy, it's not a pitched battle.
Perhaps we need to, employ different tactics in terms of technological advancements. Maybe we can see results.
Yes, but the truth is, I must admit that we made progress, especially in Borno State. But these same people destroyed power transmission lines in Yobe State some weeks back, and they plunged the state into darkness. So what I'm saying is, let our armed forces not relax.
Right.
Because we've been led to believe, it's an insurgency that is dying. Well, they've been saying this for 4 years plus. We decimated them. Somebody even claimed that they don't control any part of Nigeria. Anybody who says that Boko Haram is not in control of any part of Nigeria is a practiced liar. It's a shameless liar.
Right.
I say it because I know it.
Babajide, you were giving us your perspective before we went on break. Well, we need to wrap up on this part where you were talking about technological advancements that could be deployed, to, nip this in the bud in terms of ensuring that people have trust in the electoral process. Whenever elections come, they're not scared of whatever might happen. And of course, there's a level of security for those who reside in that northern region that are particularly vulnerable to Boko Haram attacks.
And even bandit attacks. We don't have to conduct elections in dangerous places. We don't have to. It's impracticable, for example, to conduct elections in every part of Borno State, except we are deceiving ourselves or we want to waste people. What they usually do is to say, okay, voters in Borno North, we will do your election in Monguno. Because nobody will go to Guzamala local government to do election. When there are even no soldiers there. How do you want to go and do election there? Even in Zamfara State, there are places where we can't do election because of the threat that bandits will pose to ordinary people. Bandits have taken over some villages, and people have left those villages for them. Those villages have become their camps. So do you want to take election to those places?
Not at all.
INEC, we always say, look, we won't go to so places because those places are not safe. But they must have felt that this coup character that they can go there and that nothing will happen.
And that's the more reason
those
they
boys
could
now
have
came.
Prepared more security.
And those boys now came and carried out an attack. For me, anywhere that is not safe enough, we don't have to do elections. Let's do it the way they are doing it in Borno. They are not doing election anywhere, everywhere. They are not doing election anywhere because in Borno, you will see that in the whole local government, only 3 towns, in the whole local government, only 3 towns has people. So how do you want to go and do election in order? Well, the people have fled, the district heads have fled to the state capital. District heads, so they left, because if you don't flee, they will kill you. They fled to the state capital, that's where they are.
Wow.
You want to go and do election in Kukawa local government. It's only very few towns, maybe 2 or 3 towns, and it's one of the biggest local governments in Nigeria by sheer size. You want to do election in Damboa. Damboa is the biggest local government in Borno State. It's bigger than some states in our country. But most parts of Damboa, you dare not even visit your town. The capital of the local government, yes, people are there, military, military
And
security for
JTF.
people. But outside, it's difficult. There are people, I met a guy who is a custom officer in Abuja the last time I went, and he was telling me, he said, Jide, I can't go home. Nobody is staying in our hometown. That we have a festival that we do every year, but we can't go. The truth is, the insurgency has not been defeated. This is the truth. I can mention communities where today people can't go there because there was a huge presence of Boko Haram in those places. Those ones believe that those communities belong to them. So the people have left their towns for them.
Let me quickly get Moji's perspectives on this. So what do we go from here? How do we address this issue?
Yeah, so we need to continue to sustain or rather to build on the strategies we are deploying, especially the air and
Ground.
Look at the kidnapping in Ekiti and the killing of those monarchs. For example, the IGP deployed helicopters, and today I heard that one of some of those who perpetrated that act have been picked up at some of the forests in the boundary between Ondo and Ekiti states, and that more people have been picked up. So because of concerted efforts, choppers, drones, and some other equipment were deployed. I mean, and so we are seeing results. So in the case of Boko Haram too, I think we need to sustain or even up the ante of the momentum at which we are dealing with them, and the kind of amnesty that is being given to them under the last dispensation should be reviewed, because there is no way you can rehabilitate some of these characters. They will still go back because they are used to free funds. They are practically no more, they are no longer behaving like human beings because of the way they maim and kill people. So they should be treated as such, and with low tolerance for any humanitarian stuff for them. Maybe if they are treated that way, it will reduce the level of insurgency. And I mean, you can imagine the effrontery, the boldness to go and attack a collation center. A collation center by any guys will have military and heavy DSS and other security personnel guarding the place.
Well guided.
So,
so those places you won't even see security men.
So
I don't understand.
I think we should.
And we'll deploy 50,000 police.
Police
see them
for elections
where you need them.
Let's hope for the best, and perhaps maybe the government will take action to these concerns.